Yesterday, you learned a little bit about Australia. I'm going to tell you a little more today. The first European to report on Australia was a famous British explorer named Captain James Cook. Cook, a Navy officer, was sent on a scientific expedition to the South Pacific in 1768. He sailed southwest from England across the Atlantic Ocean and around the bottom of South America. Sailing around the world, he stopped along the east coast of Australia on his way home in 1770. There, he sailed into a large bay surrounded by a green land of trees and flowers. The land reminded Captain Cook so much of his home that he named it New South Wales. He claimed it all for England and named the bay Botany Bay. On his way north, he passed another bay, which he named Port Jackson, although he did not explore it. Have you ever been sent to your room as punishment for something you did wrong, or given a timeout and separated from the rest of the family? That's kind of what happened with Australia as a penal colony. The prisons in England were overcrowded, and they needed to put the extra prisoners somewhere, so they loaded over 700 prisoners on boats and shipped them halfway around the world to Australia. At that time, Britain needed a place to send criminals from its overcrowded prisons, so the British government decided to start a penal colony in Australia. The first group of prisoners, called the First Fleet, landed in 1788. They were supposed to go to Botany Bay, but the fleet commander, Captain Arthur Phillip, decided Port Jackson was a better spot for the colony. The huge harbor was the site chosen for the colony's first settlement, which was named Sydney, after a British government official. The First Fleet included about 300 soldiers and their families, 550 male prisoners, and 200 female prisoners. The prisoners were to serve their jail time working in the new colony. After their term ended, they were free and could be given land to start a new life. Very few had any chance of getting enough money to pay for a return trip to England, so being sent to Australia meant never going home again. The first years were very difficult for the settlers. The prisoners were forced to work hard and were beaten for any wrongdoing. Most of the criminals were city dwellers who did not know how to farm or build. The farm animals ran away, many of their crops did not grow, and the supply ships came late. The people almost starved to death. The British government continued to send criminals to New South Wales until 1848. In all, about 83,000 prisoners were transported to serve their prison term in the area. By the time the colony's farms were doing well, many British people who were not criminals began coming down under to live, and Sydney became a growing city.